You can still squat. Groceries in one trip. But here's what nobody tells you. Strong and fast are different. My father, stronger than most men alive, went down on a wet bathroom floor. So if a step disappeared under you, would your legs catch you? Stay 30 seconds for the real answer. I'm Atlas Reed. Subscribe. You belong here. Somewhere in the next 30 seconds, a man reading this might already suspect the answer for himself. He can still grind out a set of squats. He can still carry a bag of mulch across the yard in one trip. On paper, his legs look fine, but looks fine in the gym and gets you off the floor fast enough when a step disappears underneath you are two completely different questions, and almost nobody over 60 has ever been asked the second one. I watched a stronger man than me find that out the hard way. My father spent his whole life physically powerful, the kind of man who never thought twice about a ladder or a wet bathroom floor. Then, one afternoon, he reached for a towel rail that wasn't there, and his legs simply weren't fast enough to catch him. Strength had nothing to do with it. Speed did. So ask yourself honestly, when's the last time anyone actually tested yours? Here's the analogy that actually explains this. A strong leg is like a car with a powerful engine, but no record of how fast it goes from park to 60. The horsepower's real. Nobody's ever timed the acceleration. At 61, 3 years into rebuilding strength, he'd let slip. Atlas thought he'd covered fall risk. Then his father went down on wet tile, reaching for a towel rail that wasn't there. The chair stand test, built to catch that gap, measures power, not muscle size. The number physical therapists track for exactly this reason. So the real question isn't whether your legs are strong, it's whether they can prove it in 30 seconds flat, and what that number is actually telling you about the next 10 years. That test exists, and it takes exactly as long as it sounds like it should. It's called the 30-second chair stand, and physical therapists have used it for over 2 decades to measure something strength alone can't show: leg power, the speed those muscles fire at, not just how much weight they can move once. Here's how it works, and you can run it right where you're sitting if there's a sturdy chair nearby with no armrests. Cross your arms over your chest, stand up fully, sit back down, and count complete stands for 30 seconds. Would a man feel shorted paying real money just to be told count your chair stands? No, because the number means nothing without context, and the context is this. Men aged 60 to 74 typically land somewhere between 12 and 19 stands in that window, according to normative data used across senior fitness research. That's not pass or fail, it's a range. And where a man falls inside, it says something specific about how his legs perform in the half second a fall actually starts, not when he's braced for it in a gym. Here's what most men miss about that range. It isn't measuring how strong the muscle is sitting still, it's measuring how fast it turns in tension, which is precisely the gap that shows up between catching yourself and not catching yourself. So what happens when a man finds out his number is lower than he expected? It doesn't mean broken legs. It means the fast twitch, reactive power inside those legs has gone quiet from disuse. And that particular system responds fast once it's trained the right way, which is exactly the leg power and reactive strength protocol that Still Standing After 60 walks through. It's linked in the description. If you're watching on a TV right now, there's a QR code on screen. A phone camera gets you there in about 3 seconds. The protocol physical therapists actually use to rebuild that system isn't slow strength work. It's short, specific bursts of speed. And that one distinction explains why so many men train for years and never see their chair stand number move at all. But here's the part almost nobody prepares for. Even a man who fixes that number completely can still go down. Why? Because a fast, powerful leg is only one system out of 3, and the other 2 don't show up on a chair stand test at all. Balance doesn't fail all at once. It fails one system at a time, quietly. Vision, the inner ear, the muscles, until one ordinary afternoon asks for more than what's left. A man can post a high number on this test and still go down on wet tile because the power that gets him up out of a chair isn't the same system that catches him mid-stumble on uneven ground. Those are 2 separate conversations, and most men over 60 have only ever had one of them. So before you watch another second of this, find a chair with no armrests, cross your arms, and run the 30-second test for real, right now. Don't estimate. Count it. Because everything coming next means something different depending on where you actually land. Whatever number you just got, here's what it means. A high number tells you your legs generate power fast, but nothing about your inner ear, your vision, or how your body reacts when the ground itself turns unpredictable. A low number tells you exactly where to start, And that alone is more information than most men over 60 have ever had, because this is what doesn't get checked at a normal physical. Not because it doesn't matter, but because nobody asks. That's the whole picture my father never had, standing on that bathroom floor. Not weak legs. A gap he never knew existed in a system nobody had ever tested. The 30 seconds you just spent sitting down and standing up might be the most honest conversation you've had with your own body in years. And now you know exactly what it's telling you. So which man are you right now? The one who just found out, or the one still guessing? A man who knows his real number isn't waiting for the floor to teach him. He's already standing on solid information, and that's its own kind of strength. The gap between a strong leg and a fast leg is the same gap between a man who catches himself and a man who doesn't. And you've just measured which side of it you're standing on. That's exactly the gap this system was built to close, because knowing your number only matters if you know what to do with it next. Still standing after 60, the complete independent system takes that chair stand number and turns it into a specific week-by-week leg power protocol built for exactly this gap. It's linked in the description, and if you're on a TV, the QR code is on screen now. Last mention, so grab it if you want it. The only real cost of waiting here is time. You won't get back training a system that responds fast once you actually start. Men who wait until after a fall spend months rebuilding confidence, not just strength. That's the trade, every time. If this is the kind of training intelligence you want every week, subscribe. We put out videos weekly, and everyone is built for men serious about staying independent. I'm Atlas Reed. Keep doing the work.